Any second, guys.
That's right. First map will be Cloud Kingdom. Pretty standard map for Protoss versus Terran. Pretty safe for all kinds of style. I'm very excited to see what Naniwa is going to bring to the table, as well as see. You know, we've seen a lot of Naniwa, but he's constantly kind of reinventing himself, so you can't necessarily predict all the time what Naniwa is planning. At the same time, C, still pretty new to StarCraft 2 scene. Not many people know his kind of style yet.
Yeah, we don't. But we'll have to figure it out with all of you guys.
The countdown has begun. I hope you guys are ready for Naniwa versus C. Are you guys ready? Guys, this is losers bracket round number 3. Winner advances, loser goes home. Liquid C versus Myonix Naniwa. 2 people enter, 1 will leave. This is IPL 5.
Very nice, very nice.
Welcome to IPL 5 Cloud Kingdom.
Over here in the top right corner of Cloud Kingdom, we have the newest addition to Team Liquid, the Terran player hailing back from Brood War. He is
Liquid C.
If those 2 names weren't destined to meet together, I don't know what it is, man. In the bottom left corner, we have the blue Protoss, one of the most beloved foreigners in StarCraft 2, farthest advancing foreigner in MLG. He is
Myonix Naniwa.
A lot of Naniwa fans in the house.
Of course, it's an Naniwa. Who couldn't be a fan of his smiling face?
Couldn't agree more. This game is directed, of course, by Heaven Dumb. Cool guy. Now C is opening up for a fast gas. We don't usually see it that often, but we've been seeing lots of variability in openings. Before, Terrans were always going gas as fast expand, but now we're seeing more variability. Banshees, Hellion drops. What do you think about this choice on especially game number 1?
All right, well, the key to it is C, he had an SUV always at the ramp there to block, and just in case, Naniwa was going to scout it. And so the beauty of this build nowadays is that always the Protoss cannot get into the main base, because they'll always build that supply depot. And that way they can't ever tell if it's a gas first.
That's right. It's really tricky, especially since Protoss needs that information sometimes to decide whether they want to fast expand and choose a robotics or add more gateways. That always is kind of a toss-up in the Protoss's mind. Depends on how safe they want to play. But, you know, Naniwa is a safer player. I mean, you know, you've been having the experience of being able to play lots of players at his caliber. You know, do you think Naniwa is going to try to play more safe, or do you think, you know, this is a match, since C is kind of unknown, how do you think you should approach this match?
All right, well, if there's one thing I've learned about playing people at a high level is you can't really ever classify them as safe or as macro-y or as anything really, because they can always surprise you. And that's what they're going to do. They're going to play these little mind games where one game maybe they'll play very safe. The next game they'll play very, very greedy. It's just going to be a coin flip on what they see. So you've got to watch these little things, like this SCV timing. You've got to be able to see that and figure out exactly when that goes away, and then we'll see kind of what Naniwa goes from there.
You can see Naniwa's accomplishments. You know, they're pretty good. In 2011, he won MLG there, and even in 2011, it was the Providence runner-up to Lenok. But he's plays really well in a couple of GSL seasons. You know, basically putting him in the contention. Is he one of the best non-Koreans? Everyone pretty much mutually agrees he's always in that discussion, depending on what version of Naniwa shows up. But look at this chef. Naniwa already showing a little bit of deviation from standard macro play, going for a Twilight Council and a Robo. 4-gate Blink is very powerful on this map, and Naniwa setting up for a big 1-base play.
Yeah, I think so, and C does kind of see it. He had that engineering bay there for so long, so he's got to know something is kind of up. Maybe he doesn't know what it is, but there hasn't been a Nexus still, and he knows that.
Yeah, without a Nexus, that's going to force them to be very defensive, but at the same time, it's not like C is going for a big macroeconomic play either. He is going for a Banshee setup, it seems, with the Tech Lab and the Starport. This is SCV trying to bypass the Stalker and try to get sight of the Natural, and that's going to be huge.
It's going to see it. It's going to see no Nexus. That's all this SCV needed to do. Look, see, it just stops right there. It doesn't even try for any more. It knows. That's all it needed to see.
It served its purpose. Sea, of course, going to start transferring and immediately. Well, he's going to continue production on Hellions. That's an interesting choice.
Yeah, look at these two Hellions. Naniwa just kind of is out of position to stop them from going up the ramp. They're going to see, I think, everything.
Oh my. In fact, he does see everything. Sees a Robo, sees the gateway, and I mean, doesn't necessarily have to see the Twilight Council, but when we see so many Stalkers, he's going to know the probes are lining up beautifully. The Hellions still getting in pretty good shots. Overall, Sea's gotten everything, every bit of intel he's ever wanted. He should be fully prepared for this game. 5
probes were killed with those Hellions, and then 2 more running in. They might even get some more. How many is the question? 2 more go down. Those Hellions are definitely worth it in this game.
And 7 total, and that was down to 18 probes. That's barely enough. I mean, you can't even really saturate your gases and your minerals. You don't even have enough really for full 1-base income. Blink is almost done, but Naniwa forced to, I guess, go back to pro production where he would rather go into full chrono on his gates.
All right, well, the key thing here is C does have this bunker. That's the thing Naniwa is, well, with the Observer, maybe he doesn't even need, maybe the bunker is misplaced, is I guess what I'm trying to say. He doesn't need to go up there, right? He's just going to blink in from the side, and the key thing is going to be right away if C can kind of push him out, and if he can maybe even snipe the Observer. Those are going to be kind of the key things. And of course this harass in the back.
Yeah.
How much damage can it do?
The probes are surrounding it, so they're going to line up very nicely, but the Stalkers are blinking into the main base, and you know, you're right, C doesn't necessarily protect the most valuable areas. He has a very big open weakness right here in the left side of his base. Naniwa just has to blink back, has to control perfectly, and can pick off units and trade for another day. The scan, but there's no ability to take down the Observer. Overall, pretty well done by Naniwa. Loses a couple Stalkers, but he picked off a Banshee and was able to whittle down some of the units.
Yeah, and especially early game, the thing that really matters is workers. How many SCVs are there? How many probes are there? And if we look at that, it's 23 SCVs to 19 probes. And that's just kind of an example of saying that, okay, C kind of won this engagement, especially with a Mule that's maybe even 25 workers to 20. And that's all he needs to do as long as he can continue to hold here with these Banshees, Marines, and Hellions. I think we're going to have to see Naniwa either try to keep going and make it an all-in, or try to expand. But with these 4 Hellions running around from the side, oh man, they're going to do some damage.
No, I mean, 4 Hellions and 1 Stalker. The Stalker wish he had 4 heads to shoot at the same time, but he doesn't. Naniwa's forced to commit to this. He's got to make something happen. His Stalkers are climbing the edge, but his probes, they're dying. So many probes are dropping. A blink into the main base. Naniwa has to make something happen, but there's so much from C.
Yeah, and if you look at worker count again, it's 24 SCVs. Naniwa has to make this count, and he didn't get the Banshee, didn't get the second Banshee, has to blink out. They're all low on health, low on shields, and Naniwa, GG's.
Oh, GG. C takes game number 1. Great defense and great read.
Great harass.
Also, yeah, great harass. And that was a pretty easy win for C. Just has to make sure to scout and react appropriately.
Made it look easy.
Yeah, you know, it's actually it's really hard to hold off that push sometimes. I know as I played Terran a lot recently, just, you know, you just a small thing. They pick off your supply depots, pick off your buildings, and then your buildings have to lift, and you disconnect them from tech labs and everything, and you feel so under pressure. But very, very calmly just wait for the Stalkers while harassing, forcing Naniwa's hand rather than just trying to, you know, scramble and do everything together.
You bet. And I think now we're going to get our second game all set up. We have to figure out what map they're going to choose, and then we can hopefully go right into it.
That's right. Shad, I want to ask, now that you're kind of like on the opposite side, usually you're in the booth playing, how's it feel to be on the caster desk?
All right, well, in the booth, you're really worried about feeling normal, feeling like you do at home or wherever you're very comfortable. So, you know, you get everything all set up, you want to have water, everything all just perfect for you. So you want to imitate the same conditions. The next thing you want to do is focus. You don't want any admins to come up and be like, hey, are you okay? Like, no, you usually want to just focus, get in the zone, and from there you just play the best you can. But when you're a commentator, you know, I'm fine. Anyone wants to come up, say
it's
hi.
It's not your keyboard. It's not even your. It's not even your time, man. You can just do whatever you want.
It's awesome.
That's great. I mean, you were telling me how you were shopping for ties around the Cosmo, but Cosmo's a great hotel, don't you guys think?